Good morning, all my crafty friends. Good morning. Just give me a minute to adjust this a little bit. It's funny when you're working, trying to do everything backwards, it's a little tough. Okay, hopefully, again, it's in the right direction. It should be. Look like it was when I stopped it. It's just a little bit off. All right. So happy Wednesday. I know I was supposed to jump in here yesterday, but the day got away from me. I've been pretty busy with the change of the weather, trying to get everything done before the winter comes. But today I just want to talk about those stamp sets that you purchase and then you don't use, and they sit on your shelf and they collect dust. Let's not let that happen to these awesome stamp sets. And I'll have to be honest with you, the sweetest time. It came out in, let me just grab the front page. It came out in the August to December 2020 mini catalog. And when I first saw this, I had so many ideas for this stamp set. And then as I looked at other sets that I had, this one went to the bottom of the pile. And I just didn't know what to create with it. As you can see here, and it looks like there's a little piece of paper under it. But this is the candles you can see right here. And there's 3 of them. And at first I just didn't even know what to do with them. Yesterday, if you saw my post, I actually stamped the 3 candles, and then I fussy cut the candle out to use just one. And as you can see, I popped it up onto the front of the card. So that's one way you can use this stamp set. And I just don't want you to think you only have to just stamp this and with colors. Of course you can. Here's the ones that I had stamped so I could cut out for this card. And if you can tell, maybe not too well, but this candle right here is shaded a little bit, just to give it a little bit of roundness. And I'm going to quick show you exactly what I did. Now, I don't have any gray blends, so I am just going to grab a hold of my Copics. These are the original Copics. I do also have the oval barrels, but these are the T's, which are toners, and they are great for shadowing. You can even use blues for shadowing, and I do have blues, but we're going to stick with the grays. Now, when you are looking at an object that should be rounded, you can do it with anything you have. Well, we can put this blender brush down, and my light is overhead, so you'll notice that right up against this blender right here, it's a very dark shadow. And then as it comes out, on the paper, it gets lighter. And then we're going to go up the barrel because this is round. You can see it rolls. When you, and again, my picture is backwards. When you go up the barrel, it's dark at the edge, and then it gets lighter, 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 lighter. And then this right here is about where the light is hitting. Same thing with the pen. I mean, anything that's round. Let me just grab my pokey tool. Same thing. Let's move this down. This is a round barreled pen. Along the edges of this barrel, you can see the dark line. And then as it comes up, it gets lighter. And then right here is where the light is hitting, because this part of the pen is closest to the light source, as you can see right here. So just like a candle, the candles are not flat, they're rounded. So I'm just going to show you this quick and then show you a couple other things that you can do with this stamp set. So this is a T4. It's pretty dark. And when you first put this color down, you're going to freak out because it is so dark. But once you start adding more color to it, that darkness doesn't look so harsh. So we're going to put our dark line right along, very carefully, the edge of that candle. And again, we could have used, let's see, this is the dark cherry cobbler. Let's jump over to the other side and let's give a line of dark cherry cobbler, because this candle is stamped in the Real Red Classic stamping pad. Okay, so as you can see, this here I did in gray, this I did in cherry cobbler. And you can't, I mean, it may not, I'll lift it up when I'm done. Now I do use T4. We could have even went darker than T4, but we're going to jump to our T3 now. And we are going to extend this line down the whole candle, and I'm just doing little flicks and then lifting the marker up off the page so it doesn't leave a really harsh line at the end of this color. Okay, again, you can see it a little bit, and we can go back and darken that up. Now we'll jump over to the other side, and instead of using, let me just test this on a piece of paper. Hold on one second. Just want to see. Okay, that one's good. Is this light or dark? This is the dark Real Red. Now we're going to jump over to this side, and I'm not using the brush end. I'm using the nib end. The brush end seems to give out more ink than I really want. So again, I'm just flicking out from this side, adding a little bit of color. So we want to shade the ends of this candle. Okay. And that actually, you can see that a little better than the gray. The gray is a little bit more subtle here, as you can see. So let's just go in. I'm going to darken the gray up a little so you can get a better feel for what it looks like when it's shadowed. Just grab my 3. I'm just going to quick. And you'll notice that I'm not doing these lines straight. They have a little bit of a curve to them because the candle is rounded. Okay, so there we go. Now For the last color, I'm grabbing the light real red. I'll do that side first. And I am going to use the brush for this side so it sweeps. And I'm just going to extend this out just a little bit more, going over what I already did, because we want to get this so it doesn't have a really harsh end to it. And I'll show you another trick. This is actually Calypso coral that I'm just adding to the end to blend out. You want a nice, we could have even done petal pink, and this is the dark. You just want to go over this line where you ended so it blends into the candle. You don't want it to be a harsh line. Okay, and then let's flip it over. We'll do the gray, and this is T1, and we're just gonna again extend this line out, lifting the marker as you go down, just to add a little bit of color. I'm gonna do it again. Now you remember, when you add lighter colors, there's more alcohol in the marker, so it's going to take the color off what you've already created. Okay, so now that we have that, we want to go back, and I'm going to use the Stampin' Chalk marker, and where these white lines are, I am going to add just down the center of the candle. I'm going to just whiten up the center of this candle with the chalk marker. And then I'm going to grab a white pencil and very carefully, light, we're just going to color the red. And like I said, it's going to be very light because you don't want a very harsh line down the middle. But you do want the red down the middle of the candle to be lighter than the sides. And you don't want to touch where you shaded. You want that dark streak to be down in the middle. Okay, so now the center of this candle is lighter than the image that you stamped. And as you can see, this candle compared to this candle, it looks rounded. And I actually do like the red shadowing better than I do the gray side. So that's one way, and you can see it does look a little bit three-dimensional. Now you can fussy cut this out and, layer your candles so that it's adding a little bit more dimension to the front of your card. Let me just put these away real quick so we have room and it's not a mess. Now another way you can use this stamp set, what did I do? Here it is to emboss it. Now this one, as you can see, I embossed on Pretty Peacock in clear. See that right there? It looks like a two-tone candle. Now for this one, I would not really suggest using your blends over the embossing because it does take the color away. And I'll show you an example I did this card. I do not like it, so it will not be posted this week. But as you can see, I did use blends over these candles, and it just made it dull. Didn't really go from light to dark very well. It just made it very dull. So this card is going in the scrap box, and I'll pull it apart to use some of the elements in a different card. Okay, so this is clear embossing, and again, you could use this and die cut it out, fussy cut around and layer them, like we'll just use this as an example. Taking it and layering your candles and offsetting them, keeping them stamped on the back, and then popping up candles in the front. Or you can emboss them in white. Now, this, of course, is on real red cardstock, so it looks like a white candle that has been striped in red. Where this candle here is on white cardstock and it's stamped in red. So look at the difference in these candles. It would be beautiful to mix and match these red and white candles on your card, because there is such a big difference in contrast. Now, I'm not sure. Let's just give this a shot. I didn't try this. Well, let's use red, because we like the way that turned out. Let's just see what happens if we try to shade over top of the white embossing. So again, you're going to go down this line. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a little wet. Might not be bad though. This one, yeah, I can see it. The marker is pooling a little bit. Let's see what happens. Let's go to, we'll use that last. Dark Real Red. That's the one we want. Dark Real Red. And we'll go use that for the next color. And again, little flicky lines going down the side of the whole candle. And you want to do it over the little red lines in the candle also. Now this was the dark Real Red. Okay. Then let's jump to the light Real Red, and we're going to extend that line a little bit more. You may want to let it dry a little bit between layers. Okay, let's try. We'll just jump to the petal pink. We just want to extend that. This one we may have to do a little different. Let's use the brush. Just extend that out very carefully because the ink is not drying that fast. As you can see, it's not really drying too well. So I would not really recommend using your blends on top of the embossing. Let's see what this happens with this. Yeah, I'm not really digging that too much. Okay. So when you want to shadow, I would recommend doing it on your cardstock and not on your embossing. So that is the stamp set. Sweetest Time. Here's one of the cards I made today. Keep a lookout in excuse, excuse me, Gal Friday Stamping for today's card using this stamp set. And in the meantime, I'm going to go back to crafting because I am working on another card for using this stamp this week. So thanks for joining. I hope you picked up a few coloring tips, and in the future, don't let those stamp sets gather dust in your craft room. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow night in Gal Friday Stampings Group live. Have a great day. Bye bye.